Okay. Hey. So, the Fujifilm X100 fifth iteration, i.e. the V, is set to drop at the end of this month. I still have my X100F, which I love. Interestingly enough, of course, all the people with like 2,000 subscribers that never buy Fujifilm cameras and are often trash-talking Fujifilm, those are the people that got loaners on the camera to borrow. Not me, not the guy that does free tech support and writes free books on Fujifilm. No, 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 no. I never was given a loaner. I think that's actually, I know that's a failure of the marketing department at Fujifilm. I don't find that extremely offensive, just only significantly so. But that's all right. By the way, Fujifilm actually had an incredible sale today, starting today, or starting yesterday, on the 50mm f3.5 GFX lens. It's half off. I actually ordered it. I was only able to find one copy, but I ordered it. I can't wait for my 50mm f3.5 to get here. And yes, I will definitely be buying the X100V, or fifth iteration of the X100. And it's actually a lot more significant than I thought. Interesting is the pop-up ISO dial that lets you shift it without actually holding it up and turning it. You have to actually hold it up on the prior model, the X100F and X100T, articulating touchscreen, XT3 sensor, and image processing engine. I'm so glad that the only thing I complained about in the F was the Q button placement. They actually moved the Q button so you wouldn't actually hit it. They did an improved battery door latch mechanism. Same lens, not the exact same lens, but I mean the same focal length and aperture. Much sharper lens due to two aspherical elements and the new construction of the lens. Aluminum body. Interestingly enough, and this is another reason why it is not extremely wise of Fujifilm's marketing department to lend this to people with 2,000 subscribers that have no idea what they're talking about. But I was watching basically all the videos on the people with 200 subscribers that were loaned the X100V. And none of them, including a big YouTuber with many, many hundreds of thousands, none of them mentioned, nor are they intelligent enough to know, about the leaf shutter in the actual X100 series camera. They didn't mention, I didn't recall anyone mention the four-stop ND. The Fuji guys did, but they actually work for Fujifilm. That doesn't count. They didn't mention four-stop ND filter, the other anonymous 200 subscriber folks that were loaned the camera by Fujifilm Corporate. Yeah, that's the leaf shutter and the four-stop ND filter are incredibly significant, and it's useful to talk about that. So that was a real facepalm. This is me actually throwing a little shade, even though I love Fujifilm to death and I buy tons of their products. Like I said, I just ordered the GF 50mm 3.5 lens today. Fujifilm's marketing department, I think that there's yeah, I think that from what I can see, I wouldn't make that decision. But that's just me, and who am I? I'm pretty stupid. I only translate ancient Greek and Pali, and wrote a free book on Fujifilm. But it's okay. I wouldn't loan the camera to me either for free 2-day rental. Looks like the XT4. A lot of people actually didn't listen. They told me that the new camera is going to be called the XT4 instead of the XH2. But I actually said in the video a few days ago that I don't care what the name would be. They could actually keep the same form factor as the XH series camera, but still call it an XT4. But here's also to a fact. If the new XT4 has the same ergonomics or form factor as the XH series, then it's true that what I heard from a source, I won't tell you who, that the XT and the XH series are melding into one. I never thought that would happen because both series are actually incredibly popular, and the notion that they would merge those two into one is of course eliminating one series of cameras. And corporations have not done that in the past of any frequency that I can recall at all. There are 3 new lenses coming, 3 more X-mount lenses that they said. I know one of them has to be hardcore action prime lens, somewhere like 300mm f4, or it could be a 400mm. It could even be a much faster zoom lens. But I know of those 3 more X-mount lenses that they're mentioning that they're going to announce by this year, that one of them has to be, at least one of them has to be a huge hardcore prime. And everybody keeps saying, why are they coming out with the XT4, or this new iteration, since the XT3 was only really recently released, so to say. And I've told everybody that 100 times. It's because Fujifilm will not miss the opportunity to drop a camera, because the Olympics are going to be in Tokyo. Hello, Tokyo. 2020 Olympics. It only comes around every 4 years, and it could be 100 years before the Olympics returns to Japan. Fujifilm has no chance of actually missing that opportunity to give representation to their company by announcing, bringing out a camera. It's like, look, this is so-and-so using it at the Olympics, the new XT4 with the new, who knows what, 500mm 5.6 phase Fresnel. A nice compact, lightweight, super telephoto prime, compact, relatively pretty damn fast, a 5.6 with like an incredible buffer. Fujifilm has no chance in hell of missing that opportunity. There are many reasons why they would come out with the XT4, and like I said, the name is completely frigging irrelevant. But a huge reason is because of the Olympics. There's also, of course, they announced 2 lenses that we know about now for a few days ago. The 80mm 1.7 GFX lens, or GF series lens, is the 62mm equivalent, and also the 30mm f3.5, a 23mm equivalent. So those are 2 new lenses on the GFX lens roadmap. I can't believe the 50mm 3.5. Like I said, that lens is half off. It's $1,000, but now it's $500. I could not pass that up. I ordered it, and it'll be here in a few days. I can't wait for that one. They did also, too, of course, talk about the 50mm f1. That'll be really expensive. It'll obviously have way better, bigger bokeh balls than like the 56mm 1.2 will even. And also, too, Fujifilm announced that they're working on a 400 megapixel, 400 megapixel effective pixel shift technology for a firmware update for the GFX 100. But we've basically known about that now for way over a year. So that has to be coming soon. There'll be a big firmware update that will move the IBIS sensor very rapidly for an effective 400 plus megapixel interpolated image. That's absolutely phenomenal. The X100V looks a lot more promising than I thought. The only thing I thought it would be is I knew it would have a touch screen, and of course they removed the D-pad, but you'll actually have touch to autofocus, which will be really fast. It should be even faster than that is found on the XT3 or the XT30. It's the same image sensor and the same image processing engine as the XT3, which of course I knew that as well. Thank God they listened and they moved that damn Q button because it was in the wrong spot on the X100F. I actually was like laughing out loud that all the 200 subscriber people that were playing with the camera, they didn't even mention the really, really cool points of what the X100 series is, which is, let me repeat it for you, folks that don't know, leaf shutter. And people are like, what's the advantage of a leaf shutter? Like, well, I've made like a dozen videos on that. So I don't know what, like, Fujifilm, and this is not an attack on them at all because I love the company a whole lot. It's like, what's their idea of giving the camera to someone that doesn't buy the Fujifilm cameras, doesn't know the hell about, the X100 series? I think it's like some sort of psychological diversification where, you trickle it out to all these little, which is fine. But at least educate them, like, it's really important. What's important about this camera? You can say whatever you want in your review, but you need to educate yourself on the leaf shutter and the advantages of a built-in true ND filter. In this case, it's a 4-stop. Previous versions were 3-stop ND filters. Yeah, but those people didn't mention that. They talked about everything about the camera. Well, there's this and this, and it's like, well, why don't you talk about the important stuff, which is the leaf shutter? And I thought that was hilarious. And by hilarious, what I really mean is incompetent. But, oh well. Is that a bit snarky? It could be, but the real question is it accurate? Is it accurate? And actually, it is accurate. So, You see, this is why people both love and hate me. And not many people love me like, oh, I love you. No, I know what I look like. And when I was like, you know, that guy is a bit of a schmuck, meaning me. But, you know, he doesn't have any affiliate links. He's not selling anything. And, he writes free books on the stuff that helps me learn how to use it. And he's helpful. I'm kind of like that helpful guy that you don't like, but you come to me because I'm helpful. I know this, because I'm pretty smart. I'm not much else, I don't have the best personality in the world. I like being helpful, actually. Obviously, I don't have a nice face or voice. I'm pragmatic. I can correctly interpolate what's in the mirror. But, yeah, that's the source of my success. Do I have success? I don't consider I have success, but, feels like I get emails like that all the time, actually, because people say exactly that. It's like, I really don't like you, but and I came back and I realized you're right. By comparison, I went over to this other guy's channel that doesn't know Jack Poop, and he was trying to sell me something. Then I came back, I was like, that bald tattooed guy is not so bad because he's not trying to sell me anything, and even though he's a bit of a smug so-and-so, he's actually helpful and useful. And I'm wicked honest when I say that, because that's actually what people tell me in email, and that's a fair assessment, actually. This is the sort of melancholy videos I make at like 2 o'clock in the morning. Man, it's been a really, really busy day. I'm so glad I ordered the 50mm 3.5 lens at half off. I mean, that's just ridiculously cheap, and I can't actually wait, and I mean this, because I'm going to spend my own money, Obviously so. I'll even show you the receipt like I usually do. I love it the last time someone accused me of getting a free, it's like, you got that for, it's like, no I didn't, I posted up the receipt. Yeah, I couldn't pass that lens up for $500. That's incredible. That's a hell of a price on the 50mm 3.5 Fujifilm GF lens. Thank you so much. I hope you have a wonderful week. And sorry I have not made too many videos lately. I've been really, really worn down, and that's the reason for that. Thank you.